Okay, we are live, guys. Episode 209.
All right.
Hard to believe. 209 episodes.
209 and feeling fine.
Yep. All right, let's kick it off. So, oh god, I hate myself for what I'm about to say. Top of the tabletop to you, and welcome to episode 209 of the Nerdstravaganza podcast, where we celebrate gaming every day. I'm Tom.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Cam.
And this week we'll be discussing Tabletop Day and how such a holiday could be translated into a celebration of other types of gaming. But before we get into that speculation, holiday speculation, I guess we'll say, I should remind our listeners that they can celebrate us every week on iTunes by listening to our episodes and giving us maximum stars and positive reviews. And with that said, let's kick things off in our usual fashion with the weekly update, but with a little bit of a twist. Usually I go last after having Cam and Brian go first, but I'll just go first this time. It occurred to us that there's no reason for me to go last all the time, so it's especially convenient because my update is really short and sweet. I've been kind of busy, not doing as many geeky things as I might like, so I did play more of Batman Arkham Origins. I'm almost done with that last-gen Batman game. Pretty soon I'm going to be fully transitioned to next-gen systems. Sorry, they're not next-gen anymore, current-gen systems. And looking forward to not being in the past, I guess. I don't know how else to say it.
For almost a year since the NX has been announced.
Right.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping there's some NX talk in the news, but if not, we'll bring that up next week. I'm stupidly excited about the NX still. I think we may have discussed that before. Just a hopeless Nintendo fanboy. So there's an update. That has not changed. It's no update. I'm still a hopeless Nintendo fanboy. That's it, man. Just playing some games, keeping busy, and dreaming of a day when I have more time to play games. That would be great. That's it for me. So Cam, what about you, man?
Let's see. I'm getting so close to my gaming lair to be finished upstairs in my loft. I mean, my companion and I have been working hard, diligently putting up. I have like over 1,000 board games, so we put together all the shelves. We've been trying to organize and sort through all the games and put them in different orders by genre, color, size, etc. So that's been taking forever, but it's coming along pretty nicely. I'm really glad that I'm sort of casting off the hoarder status that I had before, and now don't have a mound of things that will fall on me. Instead, I just have a bunch of shelves that might fall on me, but at least they're organized. What else did I do? I booked my trip to Origins, the big game fair in Columbus, Ohio. I'll be going up there with my companion, actually. Her family is from Cleveland, so we'll be going to visit her family and then head on over to the convention to do some work for Yellow Games there at Origins, so it should be a great time. What else? Game of Thrones. Checked out the premiere Sunday night.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I think we had talked about this yesterday, you guys and I. I also read this week prior to that. Well, I'd said in last week's episode I reread all the books leading up to the premiere, but I also read a prequel, which is sort of an amalgamation of a bunch of like short stories and comics called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms by George R.R. Martin, which happens 100 years before the original first Song of Ice and Fire book came out. Basically, not 100 years like in real time, but 100 years in the in Westeros. And that was really good, actually. I enjoyed it a lot, and it gave a lot of the backstory. It's sort of set when the Targaryens were ruling and fills in a lot of the blanks sort of from the book, so that was pretty cool. And I currently just finished the first Mistborn series, and so I will be starting the second one probably tonight, actually.
Nice, man.
Yeah. And tabletop gaming, of course, at the Adventure Game Store. Yeah.
Davie, Florida, check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, I should have mentioned the Game of Thrones premiere. It was pretty good. I have accepted that it is its own thing. They can spoil whatever they want because whatever they do in that show, going to have pretty much nothing to do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter really. It's just entertainment.
Yep. Awesome. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, just getting ready for sort of what we're going to be talking about. Just gearing up for Tabletop Day at the Adventure Game Store this weekend.
Sweet. All right, Brian, over to you.
I have had nothing but time this week. Sadly, one of my puppies has been not really sick, but like he had surgery on a mass that he had, and they thought it might be something bad, but it turns out it wasn't. But he still has a horrible surgical scar that we're dealing with, and dogs are stupid, so he pulled sutures out, and I've had to, for the last 5 days now, sit beside him every second that I am awake and make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. So I've been watching a lot of movies. I caught up on Edge of Tomorrow, John Wick, Pixels, a bunch of stuff I had missed.
What do you think of Edge of Tomorrow? I like that movie.
I kind of had a little problem with the ending and things like that, but I read no, this is the explanation to why that was or whatever. That was actually a really intelligent ending. It made a lot of sense the way it was explained.
Cool.
So honestly, no real complaints. It was a little confusing in the beginning as you're figuring things out and asking yourself, but I kind of like that. It pays off. Choppy start, I guess, but really decent movie.
Yeah, I really like that. That was. I'm always happy when Tom Cruise has a big win, so I consider that one. Does the dog have one of those cones on to keep him from biting? They didn't give him a cone over his head.
Well, he's got a cone, but I think he jumped. I think he jumped down off the couch and no one was around, maybe in the middle of the night or something like that. But apparently, it's in a bad spot too. It's right at his tail, so anything he does with his hind legs puts stress on him, and he just popped two sutures.
That sucks. Well, I hope he feels better.
He's high as a kite right now, so
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I want some sutures. That sounds great. Awesome, man. Well, anything else?
New Star Wars comic. They're kind of between story arcs right now, so the story's a little slow. Afra, what's her name? Sana and Leia are doing girl bonding in a crisis situation, but not really accomplishing anything. It's just been a bunch of one-liners lately, Afra trying to kill everybody, and I don't know how much truth is involved because Afra is not known for being honest, but I guess Sana had a relationship with her in the past.
Oh.
So there might be some, controversy brewing or some inclusion happening. I don't know how people are going to decide to take that.
They will decide to take it as a reason to boycott Target or something, probably. So.
Yeah. It's an Asian woman and a black woman having a non-traditional relationship. They should love it, I think.
See, this is how far behind I am. I'm way behind on the Star Wars comics and the Vader ones. Who is Sana again? Is that...
Sana's Han Solo's wife.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, that's cool. Those characters all got together, and Leia, that's awesome. That's actually... I mean, I don't know in what circumstances they're doing the bonding, but that's cool characters to have in the same scenes anyway.
Yeah.
Awesome. I gotta get caught up. Anyway, anything else?
That's all I can remember. Mostly the dog and comics.
Yeah, dog. He's a cute dog, so there's that.
He's
anyway,
decidedly less cute after the bill.
I don't even want to ask, so I won't. They want your upgraded PS4, huh?
I don't mind the original bill, but I really mind the triple-digit bill for him fucking jumping once.
Oh my god.
That was not cool. He should not have jumped.
I would think the vet would give you a little warranty on those sutures. Yeah, I'll replace a couple, but let's not.
there's what do you call it? Anesthesia involved, and a clean environment and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just not a cheap thing,
Yeah, yeah. Veterinary care is. I don't mean to seem anti-animal, but when so many do without basic medical care in the world, I don't know. Something seems unjust about that, which is really a little more political than we should get on the show. But
Yeah.
Anyway, with that aside, I think that's it for our updates. Unless anybody can think of anything else.
3 quick weeks.
Yeah. Oh, watch Silicon Valley if you don't. That
That's
show
a
started
fun
off.
show.
I actually caught like the entire marathon leading up to the preview or the premiere.
Ah, what'd you think?
Funny. Funny, but I think like I guess like the in jokes and everything like that are a little too in. Like, it makes me like really hate that environment because I know that's what happens.
Okay, fair enough. Brian, you could be counted on to find an objectionable line in most clouds, and I love that about you. It's hilarious.
I try to, I don't know, make a joke out of it or whatever, but Christ, it's a natural talent, man. Like,
A box full of puppies, they suck.
I gotta clean that.
Oh man.
Oh man, yeah. Oh God. Okay, so if that concludes your update, then we will move on. Cam, I think it's time for you to let us know what's news with the Nerdstravaganza.
All right. Well, your wish has come true. There is some Nintendo NX news. It is, of course, going to launch in March 2017, which actually is a little later than we've reported on previous. They had originally, I think, wanted to launch it before Christmas this year. But now it's going to launch in March 2017. They're saying that it won't completely replace the Wii U or the 3DS, but then in related news, it says that Nikkei, the Japanese newspaper Nikkei, came out with a story that they want to kill off. They were going to kill off the Wii U by the end of 2016. But then I guess people got all up in arms, and now Nintendo plans to kill the Wii U by 2018.
Oh, okay.
So on the one hand, they're saying it won't replace it, but on the other hand, we're hearing that the Wii U is going to get killed. So I don't know.
We'll replace it, but you'll still be without it.
Yeah. So 2018, your Wii U's will be obsolete, which, whatever. I mean, it's going to be obsolete at some point. So I guess 2018 is as good a time as any. But yeah, the NX is going to launch in 2017. So get ready for that. And like we've talked about, I think Nintendo is really looking for this to be their savior because their earnings have fallen like 60% during the last fiscal year. They're still doing okay, but they are, I mean, if it weren't for the amiibos, they'd probably be underwater. So they're really looking for this to save their skin. And, as long as there's plenty of people like you, Tom, Nintendo will soldier on.
Yeah, suckers. I mean, loyal Nintendo faithful. Yeah.
Yeah. Sticking with video game news and gaming news in general, the game Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. It's kind of funny. It's sort of art imitating life, and I was trying to remember what's there, and I was trying to find it before the show. We talked about this before. The same thing happened to another game in the UK. Oh, no, it was actually a shipment of amiibos, actually. At the UK, they have some, really, cyber thugs, or, thugs that are, really up on technology and gaming, because I think it was, a year ago, a whole bunch of, brand new amiibos, a truck shipment got stolen. Basically, someone just hijacked the truck and stole all the amiibos.
Wow.
And this year, I think a day or two ago, on the 27th, I think it was yesterday, a shipment of Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, was stolen by a thief. Somebody hijacked the truck and took a whole shipment, truck's worth of the game. It was supposed to be released worldwide on May 10th, but they're saying that in certain portions of the UK that might not be hit now because all those shipments, you're going to have to buy it on the street corner because they're going to be out of stock.
have to pick it up used at
Yeah.
GameStop for $57.99.
Yeah, literally off the back of the truck. So if you're a fan of Drake and Uncharted, in the UK,
I am.
you're gonna have to look for alternative sourcing, I think is what they call it. Let's see. Speaking of alternative fuel sources, nuclear power, right? We're all sort of back in the 80s. Everyone was so scared of nuclear power. Oh, it was, and all these lawsuits and people stopped nuclear power and Chernobyl and all that stuff. And then I don't know, sort of like over the last 10, 20 years, it's sort of come back into vogue that nuclear power might be what we need to do with these nuclear power plants. And I think, but then that Fukushima thing happened, and I don't even know what the state of nuclear power is at this point. But I think we all sort of take it for granted that these people know what they're doing. But it's becoming increasingly apparent to me that they, especially with Fukushima and now with this, that they just don't. There is a German nuclear power plant that they found has been running with all sorts of malware and viruses in their operating system.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like basically, it was just basically like totally screwing up their I mean, not totally screwing up the plant, but like basically they're saying, well, hey, we're not connected to the internet, so it's not a big deal. But if you're not connected to the internet, then how the hell did you get the malware and the viruses on there in the first place?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, somebody bring a USB stick in or something, or?
Yeah. And they're saying, well, these infections like this aren't really particularly dangerous unless they're like a targeted attack. Well, why would someone put them on there if they're not part of a targeted attack?
Just because you haven't been attacked yet.
Yeah, exactly. So they had the Conficker virus. They had the Ramneat. I know I've heard of Conficker, but I haven't heard of Ramneat or Ramnet. I might be butchering that name. But Conficker is pretty nasty. You know what I mean? I mean it's been around for like a decade, and
here's why.
Yeah. Basically it can zombie your computer. You know what I mean? So like, what if someone could zombie a terminal at the nuclear power plant, cause a meltdown, or do something? That's ridiculous. So I'm just glad I don't live in Germany at this point.
That's funny because I heard today that like 3 Mile Island is leaking here.
Oh,
so.
God. I thought that's nothing new, isn't it? I remember there was that's like a story arc in several of the Marvel comics. 3 Mile Island caused a bunch of the mutants to
Did it really?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Apparently, it really is leaking into the water or something like that.
Well, it's one of those situations where the incident happened a while ago and they supposedly contained it, but now, of course, you can only contain that stuff so long before it starts leaking out again, right?
I'm not a expert on that kind of stuff. I mean, I thought that those things were supposed to be contained. The problem was disposing of the waste afterwards. What do you do with these barrels of like contaminated water that are used to cool the rods? You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're ever supposed to leak. you know what I mean? Like,
pump that water into a creek somewhere.
Yeah, I mean you get like Mr. Burns, like.
That seems to be the thing with nuclear power. Like 99.99% of the time, it works. There's no emissions. It runs. Then you have this horrible, horrible fuel to deal with, and when things go wrong, it's kind of like airplane crash syndrome. When things go wrong, they're 100% wrong.
Yeah, there's no stopping it.
Yeah.
Screwed for 20,000 years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like a plane crash that goes on for 20,000 years, as Brian said. It just never stops crashing.
Yeah. Huh. Well, the destruction of the environment, soldiers on. Although I did see, and this wasn't part of my news because I don't believe, I feel like it was probably just some like, denialist bullshit. But there was an article that I just saw in passing the other day about how the increased CO2 emissions are having not an adverse effect, but a great effect on the environment because it's causing more green, like, basically it's making like they took a shot of the globe from a satellite and said the world is actually more green with these increased CO2 emissions because that's what plants use to thrive and produce more oxygen. And I was just like, all right, come on. Were you like,
Wow,
was this article produced by the Koch brothers or what?
Yes.
It feels optimistic.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. And then we're on YouTube right now, so I got to hit them a little bit. Apparently, they're going to have bumper ads, coming up pretty soon, where you can't skip.
Oh,
So
no.
just right in the middle of our show or someone else's show or whatever you're watching, you're going to have a 6-second bumper ad that you're just going to have to watch, and then keep going with your video.
Let us know, listeners and viewers, or let us know, viewers, if the bumper ads you encounter while watching our show bother you. Let us know. We'd like to know.
Yeah, because we have the bargaining power and the weight and prestige to let YouTube know that they shouldn't be putting bumper ads in our.
We'll give them. We'll give them.
I'm sure they'll recommend we just go to RedTube or whatever.
Yeah, they'll be like, you know what, Twitch might be better for you guys.
That was actually like Freudian, because I meant YouTube Red, which I don't know why they called it that. The premium content, which is ad-free if you pay for it.
Isn't RedTube? Never mind. Moving on.
Yeah,
it really is called YouTube Red, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I think so.
What a... I did not involve Red and Tube in any previous... they have that one. You don't need to...
And that's the end of my news, guys.
All right. So, with the news segment now out of the way, we will transition away from tubes of various colors and into tonight's topic, which is Tabletop Day. I think a good place to start is for one or both of you guys to give an overview to our audience members who don't actually know what Tabletop Day is all about.
I guess I'll do it. Tabletop Day is something that was created, I believe, by Felicia Day and Will Wheaton. Through, I don't know if Geek and Sundry was actually a thing at that point, or it might have just been a fledgling thing. Geek and Sundry, of course, is Felicia Day's YouTube channel, company, conglomerate, where they just basically wanted everyone to come together on a specific day every year and play tabletop games, which is awesome. And they started it several years back, and it's really sort of taken a life of its own. It just coincided with the boom of tabletop games in general. And it's become basically Geek Christmas, gaming Geek Christmas anyway, every year. And it's this Saturday, April 30th, where everyone can come together. I mean, they sort of want you to go to stores and play games at stores, but at the same time, I don't think they really care either. I think as long as you're playing games, you're in the spirit of Tabletop Day, and I, for one, am definitely looking forward to it.
Nice. A very concise and accurate description, I would say. Brian, anything to add? Does that more or less sum it up?
That's about it. I think I will add, though, that a lot of people are like very excited about promos and things like that, and they do exclusive promos for it, don't they? I know they do promos. I think they are exclusive.
Yeah, they put together to get you to drive traffic to local stores. And again, it's not a they're not trying to drive you to like a big box store. They're driving you to local game stores, and they send them exclusive boxes of tabletop promos. A lot of times they feature Felicia Day or Will Wheaton. I remember, I think last year or the year before, I got a Dead of Winter Felicia Day Dead of Winter promo. It's her basically as a character to play Dead of Winter with. Will Wheaton was one of the Five Tribes guys, for the game Five Tribes. They put all these exclusive promos that you can only get if you go to a local game store and play tabletop games, and that helps the local game stores get traffic and spurn some local small business.
Promos are a big deal to me. I like those. I really do.
Especially the exclusive ones and things like that, that are really cool. That you can that are. I mean, I don't care about hard to get, but that sort of are kitschy and fun like that.
Yeah.
Cool. So there's a retail participation, the retail industry participation in the holiday, which is awesome.
Yep.
And that kind of got us thinking. I mean, just as you were describing Tabletop Day, the questions almost answered themselves, but I think it's probably worth discussion just for fun. Why isn't there a tabletop day equivalent for other types of gaming, for video gaming, say, and could we come up with a holiday like a video game day or let's say in the near future a virtual reality day or something like that? Could you guys think of this concept being kind of translated?
We could come up with the real V-Day, for all the virgins that just play video games and don't have a date on Valentine's Day, come to V-Day and play video games with us.
World War V.
I'm including myself, in that nerd category, but no, we could come up with that. But I think the problem with that is, tabletop games sort of lend themselves to getting together with people and sitting down and somewhere else and playing, whereas video games, like, if I'm sitting on my couch and I'm eating a Hot Pocket and smoking a joint, like, I'm not, like, trying to... I don't smoke weed, but I'm saying, I know that's typically what, when it comes to mind of a typical gamer in my head, that's what I think of. I don't eat Hot Pockets either. I'd probably smoke a joint before I ate a Hot Pocket. But that's sort of what comes to my mind as the typical gamer. I don't think I'm going to get up and go to a store to play video games. It probably would have to be more of like an online thing if there was a way to do that. Get everyone to come together on like a specific system or server or network. Should be kind of cool.
I'll throw in too that I don't think the retail element would work because there's so many people involved in Tabletop Day in their own tiny little ways, but it's still a lot of people. It's a lot of people on Facebook promoting it. It's a lot of people with cheesy podcasts promoting it. It's a lot of game stores talking to people who might not normally play a tabletop game. Any kind of video game day is going to be GameStop.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking, Brian, is it like sort of what I was saying about if everyone sort of came together on a network, the way to entice people to come to that network is, all right, if you come to our network, we're going to have an exclusive mount for you for, like, your MMORPG or you know what I'm saying? Or you're going to get a specific weapon or a piece of gear that's specific only to V-Day or, whatever. Non-Top Day. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get...
Top Day.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be a physical, like Felicia Day promo card that you would get for your tabletop game, but it would be a digital promo that you could only get if you join that network.
You might be able to do like a sale day, like you could buy it on that day or subscribe on that day and get people to play it like right away. That might be interesting.
Yeah, you'd have to have the hardware and software set up for people to check out, but so a lot of the things you said that would make it kind of difficult, the online aspect and it not being the social in-person activity that it once was, video gaming that is. Apart from Brian's suggestion that where you had something like you buy it here, play it here, some sort of event like that. The reason I mentioned VR is I think I've indicated a few times, for a lot of people, a top-shelf VR rig might be cost prohibitive, and there may be a VR experience superior to what can be delivered at home to be had. And if you think of all those things in combination, and there are like VR, I keep calling them parlors. I don't know why I like that word so much, but VRlers, let's say.
Parlors.
Varlers, right? Yeah, I think you could have events around virtual reality, and again, that I mentioned them before, and I really think we need to get them on the show. The Clutch Gaming Arena guys, who are basically making that like gaming resort. Imagine a venue like that hosting, VR Day or any such place where they've got the stuff set up, the multiple machines, the VR, the room, they have the space. So if you can't do it at home, you'll come out there.
Yeah, that's interesting, but I feel like you'd have to have a lot of those places, and you'd have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, think of, like, how many rigs do you have to have set up for how many people to come and be there at the same time? You know what I'm saying? Maybe when they become ubiquitous to people's homes, then, you know what I'm saying?
It might be a little bit easier for them to, like, really truly glom onto one of the existing events, because it would be pretty damn nifty to experience VR on tabletop day. Like sit down, and some people like, oh, they're playing this game, but they'll be free in 20 minutes. How about in that 20 minutes you sit down here and play a quick game of Love Letter with some guy in another state? And you put on their glasses and you see his hands and he deals the cards, and like they might really be able to promote on X day with like 1 or 2 rigs.
That makes a lot of sense. I never really thought about that virtual tabletop day, and yeah, all the other applications of VR are kind of a follow-on. But yeah, that's actually a really awesome idea. I like that.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that, and it just sort of came to me. I should have thought about this before when we were prepping for the episode. But I mean, that's really where the industry, the tabletop industry, is going right now. There's so many of these games that everyone loves that are coming out for your tablet or your smartphone. Like I myself have like a bunch of different games. I have Splendor. I have Ticket to Ride. I mean, it's not VR, but it's basically me playing a video game of a tabletop game.
And it could really easily become VR.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's definitely an experience that lends itself to that.
Yeah, like how sweet would it be, like if you're playing Ticket to Ride, when like you build a train route, you're like, you know what I mean? It, like forms like around you or something, and you're like moving along your route. Like that would be awesome. It'd
be awesome to actually see like even the board with moving trains and like some locomotives and some steam engines, and I mean just purely cosmetic.
Yeah, be really cool.
I'm thinking of it from the social aspect, and this may be way too early days to think about something like this, but imagine, like, I'm out in Seattle, I'm like, man, I miss the guys, I want to play, at AGS, and, like, Star Wars style, like, I'm there at the table with you, but I'm not, but I'm sitting there at the table with you. Maybe somebody would have to move pieces on my behalf, or they'd have to be projected or something, but I don't know, something where imagine, like, you hop on, you look at a list of games going on at different stores you've never been to around the country, around the world, and suddenly you're playing, a tabletop game with somebody in New York, but it's like you're there and you're getting a representation of the store. And I think that's more of a, like what that Magic Leap company is supposed to do, where they're like projecting things into reality. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can already do that, like, sort of, I mean, even just with, like, rudimentary games like Words with Friends, things like that. But you're playing other people. I mean, you could play your friends, obviously, but you could just play just some random that they pull up for you that's also on the network. I mean, just like, playing Halo, too. You know what I mean? But, like, that's an interesting point, like, where you could actually, if you don't just want to play a random, or you don't want to play one of your, like, friends from work or something, you want to play your actual, like, gaming friends or whatever that might be at a gaming store. That could work. But it's sort of, to me, it's like, well, doesn't that make the gaming store sort of obsolete? Like, why would someone go to the gaming store? Like, Tom, if you and I wanted to play if all three of us wanted to play Ticket to Ride, why would we go somewhere else when we could all just sit and play on our tablets or in our VR rigs?
Well, presumably people want the tabletop experience, and you want to partake in the tabletop experience even though you can't be there. It makes you. It's like that's what I try to emphasize, that a social experience, for people that really want to be among friends.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting question, though, because you will be able to socialize sitting in a completely dark room. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can sit in your room, I'll sit in mine, Tom, you can sit in Seattle, and, I mean, to our perceptions, we'll be in the same room. I mean...
Yeah. It's like all the benefit of interaction with other people without the smell. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I myself will always like the tactile sensation of playing an actual game, So I, for myself, always hope that there are places like the Adventure Game Store where people can actually go and play games and move the pieces and, that kind of stuff. Same with books, like I like audiobooks, I like e-readers, but I also like to pick up an actual real book sometimes and leaf the pages, But, I think that we're sort of maybe in the last generation of that. I don't know.
Hard to say.
It'll be like a real event. It'll be like spring day where everybody goes out and gets a little bit of vitamin C. And, like, actually meets people.
Yeah.
Well, the tactile sensation, that's the thing I mentioned too. If you're going to be remote and somebody's going to be playing in another place, you're not going to be able to move the game pieces. You're going to maybe be able to move virtual game pieces or something, but yeah, I don't think you substitute for that. You'd have to have somebody move your pieces for you.
AR is going to make that amazing.
Projecting.
Like projected pieces that no one's actually touching, which, You're right, Cam. That won't be nearly as fun as like being able to throw a piece at somebody. But
Or actually just throwing die, you know what I mean? Like rolling die. I mean, I guess you could roll die in front of yourself, and as long as everyone can see what you rolled, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think it sort of lends itself to certain games a little better than others. You know what I mean? Like if there are games that I need to like look at certain cards, like what is someone going to just sit there and hold up the card so only I can see it to the to the screen? Like it's kind of tough that way. But maybe who knows? Like sort of like a Golem Arcana type thing. Where like you can just do something on your computer and maybe you have like a magnetized board, or you have a board that just is not even a board. Maybe it's just like the table is I mean, flat screens are how cheap these days. A couple $100. You just have an actual screen where things just happen. Based on what you do on your computer.
Or hell, maybe there's a new type of spectator mode where the people playing who agreed to do this, they've got like a little earpiece in. And you're like a fly on the wall, but you can like fly around to other people's. You can go back and forth and be like, "Hey man, what do you do? Why are you making that move?" But you don't want to cheat. But it'd be cool to have spectator mode where you could discuss with people and like see what they're planning. I don't know, that would bring you into the game as a spectator when you can't be there in person, and that might be cool for people who just want to bounce around the world watching people play and see what they're playing and see how games are played.
That might be amazing for esports.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Now that you mention it.
Yeah. And there is. I mean, if YouTube has taught us nothing, and what's his, PewDiePie? I mean, there are plenty of people that want to watch other people play games. So,
PewDiePie, the guy. Nothing makes me feel more old manny than when I think back to when my friend's daughter was like, "Have you heard of PewDiePie?" I'm like, "No, I'll look him up." And then I looked him up and I was like, "What's this kid doing?" Like, nope. I'm done. Hey, hang me out to dry, put me out to pasture. Oh man. Anyway, so I think we've come back around to what I thought was the initial difficulty, which is you can't, at least for now, get away from the fact that tabletop games are played in person. There's a social experience. They're interactive just by their very nature. Video games right now, thanks to networking, can be played remotely. I'm holding out some hope that VR and maybe cost-prohibitive VR hardware and software combined with AR, combined with other things, can sort of facilitate an in-person gaming. It all comes back down to my yearning for the arcade to come back, okay? Let's just cut right to it. But yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see as technology progresses something akin to tabletop gaming with non-tabletop gaming. And I'm not saying this because I don't like tabletop gaming. I feel a little isolated playing video games these days. I miss going over friends' house and playing together. That's just not something that happens anymore.
Yeah, we really need to do that too. We I don't know, became so much about Tuesdays and Thursdays at the store that I haven't played a game just like in my basement in 2 years.
Yeah. So that's something to consider. Something for the cast to consider. We can have our own. Oh, there you go. We'll get some webcams. We'll set them up in Cam's gaming loft in Brian's what he has dubbed his basement. In one of my many layers, and we'll just like invite the audience to come in and experience gaming with the Ganza crew. But yeah, thanks guys. I think I got a picture for maybe how something like this could come together. I'm not. Maybe this will be our big contribution to geek culture. Maybe we should make this happen.
I'm all for that. I'm down to game whenever, wherever, man.
Even digitally.
Yes.
Okay. You heard it here first. Cam is down to game wherever, whenever. Send him invitations, and he will show up.
Hit me up, nerdstravaganza@gmail.com. I will.
Anyway, I think, I think I more or less got what I want out of this episode. Anything else you guys want to discuss, bring up, touch on? Go once, twice.
No, I think we're good on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, just make sure if you're in the South Florida area, head to the Adventure Game Store and play play some games with us at the on Tabletop Day. Just so you know, just so everyone knows. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're at the Adventure Game Store. We want you to come, but if you're in a different part of the country, just so you know, the exclusive promos this year are for the games Wits and Wagers, Steam Time, Three Cheers for the Master, Epic Spell Wars, Castle Panic, Schmovie, Tanto Cuore, Super Fight, Heroes Wanted, Birds of a Feather, and Red Dragon Inn, and several others, but those are the big ones. So if you have any of those games or interested in any of those games, I'd head to your local game store. Like I said, if you're in the South Florida area, come to the Adventure Game Store, play with us. You'll get some free promos, and I know specifically at the Adventure Game Store, they're going to be giving away a ton of games, just actual real games. So you can just come, and you might walk away with a free game. So you'll definitely walk away with a free promo. So come on out and have fun.
You'll definitely walk away.
Yeah, me too.
You'll definitely walk away with some free memories. Tanto Core, isn't that the
made
anime?
deck building?
Yeah, made deck building by Japanime Games.
Japanime Games. Okay, cool. Yeah, so get out somewhere, play with someone is the bottom line, and enjoy Tabletop Day. Look for Ganza Day coming up soon. As soon as we figure out what that is exactly. And with that said, I think we can let everybody get ready for Tabletop Game. We can let everybody go get ready for Tabletop Day. I'll start by saying one way to get yourself in the mood is to listen to our show. It'll put you in the mood to do anything else. And you can do that on the weekly by checking us out in iTunes. If you're not an iTunes person, we are also available in Stitcher. And if that isn't to your liking, it is finally confirmed we are available in the Google Play Music Store. I listened to our most recent episode in that store, and it was delightful.
Sweet.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, add us to your Google Circle, join the Nerdstravaganza HQ group for all the events. I'm sure all the AGS events will make it there, and to add your own events.
Roll your dice on over to Nerdstravaganza. Sorry, guys. Roll your dice on over to Nerdstravaganza.com and check out this and all of our back episodes. Hop your pawn on over to YouTube, where you're at now, and check out this and all of our video content. And shoot us an email at nerdstravaganza@gmail.com and let us know what games you like to play.
And with all that said, Brian, roll the dice and take us away.
Oh, I have a dice little noise I should use. Oh, you should go to Cam more often. Oh.
Critical hit.
Yeah.
Critical hit, perfect. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
See you guys.